Hey, what's up guys? Allie here, and I actually just kind of want to do a random video. I know I didn't do one last week. I might actually do a couple in these next 2 days. I'm hoping to anyway. But this is just going to be a random video because something came to me that I realized astrology, you never stop learning. It's something that keeps going. I've been teaching myself astrology, for people that know, since I was a little kid, for about 20 years now. Right into my preteens, I started teaching myself, and I've never taken an astrology course. I've taught myself everything that I know. And it's endless, like the universe. You never stop learning. There's always more to learn about astrology, and it's great. I actually I realized something today, and it's kind of funny because it's something like I don't catch on to things sometimes right away. It takes me a minute. Like I come to a lot of epiphanies in my life when it comes to realizing stuff, especially when it comes to linking stuff in my own chart in astrology. And then I'm like, wow. Number one, I think I should have seen this earlier. Number two, I'm like amazed by it. But so anyway, I'm just going to get to it, and maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. I am talking about Lilith. I know of Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, there's Dark Moon Lilith. To be honest with you, I haven't looked deep into Lilith, but I do know the general meaning of Lilith. But like when I do astrology readings, I look into the planets, and I look into the main 12 signs, and I look into some asteroids, and I look into the nodes, and I look into Chiron. You know what? Chiron's probably my favorite thing that's not a planet, actual planet that we look at in astrology. Chiron and the nodes are like my favorite things to focus on besides the rest of the chart and the rest of the chart. So yeah, I realized this morning, and you know what? I don't always catch on to things right away. I attribute that to having Saturn in the third house, for those who are well versed in astrology and understand what that means. So the third house deals with your learning, your mind, your learning style, your communication style. So for me, that's been an area of struggle in my life, especially when it comes to public speaking, when it comes to stringing my thoughts together out loud. And, I do kind of struggle with that sometimes. So having Saturn there, I'm a Saturn native in the third house. I've had my struggles with that, and people know that. But I embrace it. So, hey, if things come to me, sometimes I'm a little slower, but it comes. So anyway, what is Lilith? Lilith is in astrology. Lilith, first of all, is a biblical character, a biblical person. But I'll get to that in a minute. It represents like us in the raw. It is our primitive instincts. It is, Lilith is seen as kind of ruthless. But I think she's misunderstood. Lilith is fierce. Lilith she can represent like our deepest subconscious primal urges, how we behave in a vulnerable place, basically the buried dark side of one's personality, our shadow. That's what Lilith can represent, is our shadow aspects. But what also within her is the feminine side of any person, whether that's a male or a female. It's the, they have the divine feminine, divine masculine, and everybody has those two sides within them. And there's also a evolved and there's an unevolved, right? Well, Lilith, in my opinion, contains both. A lot of people would disagree and say that Lilith is all unevolved. She's, they would associate her with bad and evil. Here's the thing, though, okay? And here's where I need you guys to keep an open mind, especially if you are from a background of organized religion. The Bible, now this is coming from someone who was raised Catholic. I had my first communion when I was little. I had my confirmation, all that stuff. I was baptized. I was brought to church until way into my teens, until finally an ex-boyfriend that I was dating at the time in my teenage years told my mother to just like stop already, and she listened. So stop driving me to church. But anyway, like I'm not knocking religion, guys. It wasn't for me personally, Catholicism. As you can, I'm an astrologer, so. But not that I'm knocking it. If it works for people, it works for people. Side note. Anyway, Lilith gets a bad rap. See, the story in the Bible is Lilith was the first wife of Adam, if I'm correct, and something to the effect of she wasn't subservient to him. She did her own thing. She would not bow to him. She would not be seen as less than him. She would not take his orders. So basically, she was cast out of heaven. So, because God and Adam were like, this isn't going to work. So basically, that's my lame interpretation of the Bible story of Lilith. So, long story short, she was not cooperating. She was being a nuisance. She wasn't listening. She wasn't being divine because she wasn't subservient. And another way we can look at this is she was not bowing down to take orders from anyone else. She wasn't. The thing with organized religion is, especially in the past, and even nowadays, we're still struggling with equality. And she didn't bow down. She got kicked out. She was seen as evil. But was she really? Yeah, maybe she didn't act polite. Maybe she wasn't all polite and dainty and bowing down to serve people. You know, Adam, and that's okay. She was feisty. Lilith was feisty, okay? She wasn't going to take orders from anyone. So here we go, right? Now here's where it gets personal, because what is my point of this video, right? A lot of people know, and I don't really keep it as a secret, I have bipolar disorder. I have dealt with this diagnosis since almost as long as I've been into astrology. I was diagnosed in my teens, my early teens, and it's been a journey because it's not something I was misdiagnosed with. It actually turns out that it is a proper diagnosis that I have. And I have grappled with it. I've had some extreme moments in my life. I've had some heart-wrenching moments in my life as a result of having bipolar disorder. I've, haven't been the easiest person to deal with in my family, especially in active phases of the disease, where I haven't been properly treated, or we're putting it lightly. There's times where I've made bad choices. I'm human. I'm a human who has a disorder of the brain, and that's okay. I'm not looking for a cure here, guys. And that's not even the point. The point I'm trying to make is I've had my moments where I've been very difficult. I've had my moments where I've been seen as too extreme. I'm too much. I'm too difficult. I'm too this. I'm too that. You know what? I'm not for everyone. Luckily, I have people in my life who are amazing, who are supportive, and who love me, who do understand me. There's a lot of people that wouldn't understand me. A lot of people that never dealt with mental illness at all wouldn't understand me. And where I come from, and why sometimes I act the way I act, or did act the way I act. Because I'm not looking for people to co-sign behaviors when I'm off the rails. And luckily, thank God, things have been stable for a long time now, and I'm very grateful for that because I've been proactive in my own treatment. But what does this have to do with Lilith exactly? Well, here we go. Here's the realization I had today. In my chart, I'm a Libra rising, and what we do in astrology is you look at the ruler of your rising sign, which is the planet that rules the sign that's your rising sign. So for Libra, it's Venus, right? So they would call me a Venus rising. Now, to look even deeper, people often think I'm a Cancer. I'm actually a Leo sun, but I get confused for being a Cancer a lot. And it's funny because I do have quite a few placements of Cancer in my chart, Mercury being one of them, Venus being one of them, but here we go. So let's look at Venus for a minute. Okay, I have Venus in Cancer in the 10th house. Okay, now I'm a Venus rising because Libra's on my rising sign. Libra's my ascendant. So that your rising sign shows your physical characteristics. It's your outer appearance. It's how you come across to other people. So Cancer, right? Because Cancer, I have Venus in Cancer. I have Venus as my rising. So obviously not only Libra qualities, but Cancer qualities as well. And that's probably why Cancer gets shown so much to people when I am first met by them, or, you know, how I come across. So anyway, my Black Moon Lilith happens to be the exact degree. So it's exactly conjunct my Venus in Cancer. Yikes, right? Yikes. So yeah, so if you know, it's funny because lately I've like a human being would, and I know I'm not the only person who has struggled with this, especially having bipolar disorder, let alone any kind of mental illness. I come to periods of my life where I struggle with a little bit of pity party, but not so much pity party. It's like, why am I the way that I am? Why can't I just be normal? Why do I have to have such big emotions? Why do I have to feel so deeply? It's painful. And, you know, why I've got, now, let alone I've come a very long way, especially with emotional reactivity. I've come a long way. But you know what? I still find myself sometimes being tripped up and triggered. And while I've been able to curb my behavior dramatically from when I first, you know, from the beginning of my story with bipolar disorder by a landslide, back in my early teens, I still question why I am the way that I am. And a lot of it has to do with self-acceptance and self-love, and that's a continuous journey for me. But then it clicked this morning. I'm like, well, of course, I'm going to be seen by people who misunderstand me as difficult. I'm going to be seen as ridiculous. I'm going to be seen as like, you know, like, what's wrong with her? By people who are not meant to understand me. By people who are not meant to be in my life. By people who are not for me, and I'm not for them. And guess what? That's okay. So I guess that's why Lilith is right on top of my ascendant ruler. It's really funny, guys, because like, you don't think astrology is real? Really? You don't think astrology is real? I'm living proof right here. Living proof that astrology is not fake. So I hope I made sense. That's just one thing I wanted to make a video about because it was like, holy crap. This, I can't not share this because this is crazy. Literally, woohoo! Okay, make a joke about myself. It's okay, guys. You gotta laugh. You gotta learn to laugh at yourself. You gotta learn to, you know, laugh about life, because how else are we gonna get through it, right? So, all right, that's it. I'm done. I guess I'll plug myself. Okay, go visit my website, realitycheckastro.wordpress.com. I have a Patreon, Reality Check Astrology. I'm on Instagram, Reality Check Astrology. I'm on Facebook, Reality Check Astro. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love you guys, and I'm probably going to make another video today or tomorrow or something. So, love you guys. Bye.